For my in-depth project, I've chosen a quite interesting topic, protection of cultivated soil in Norway. And for an introduction, my family and I are farmers in Asker. For those who don't know where Asker is, it's a 30-minute drive away from the capital of Oslo. And we're actually the only dairy farmers in the area. However, it hasn't always been that way. According to my dad, there used to be three other dairy farmers. However, all of them have either shut down or started with horses. And this is due to population growth. It is known that Asker is growing and that the government is desperately seeking to find solutions for problems such as housing. And last year it was decided that 1,600 apartments are going to be built on our fields. And they will be taking 20,000 square meters, as you see on the picture. This is, of course, quite devastating for our farm, and maybe we too someday will have to begin with horses or simply shut down. So I asked myself, how is the situation with all farmers? Are we the only ones experiencing problems? And of course, the answer is a big no. It didn't take much effort to find articles on the web about farmers struggling, and the majority of them were about economical problems. And to understand these problems, we have to go back in time, way back in time, to the last ice age, to be exact. And after the last ice age, areas that were once seafloor came to the surface, and these areas are now rich with nutrition due to a layer of sludge from dead animals and plants sinking to the bottom while it was under the ocean. These patches became optimal for farming due to being rich with nutrition, and farms here thrived, thus causing population growth in these areas. And after the Industrial Revolution, these places were used for different causes, for example, factories and housing. And today, in most cases, these areas are big cities such as Oslo in Norway, and these cities have been growing since. And therefore, there is a constant need for space that's trying to find solutions. And I don't blame the government. A big, flat area, perfect for building, is probably quite tempting. In other words, farmers are facing economical struggles due to cities expanding and being built on the farmers' fields. And according to Norske Landbrukssamvirke in 2016, 300,000 acres, equivalent to 48,500 soccer fields with cultivated soil suitable for food production, have been shut down these last 20 years. And for a comparison, I'm going to compare Norway with the US. And in the US, from between 1992 and 2012, they lost nearly 31 million acres of land. That's 175 acres an hour. And sadly, 11 million of those acres were among the best farmland. But this is happening in Norway too. The best farmland is around the cities, and the cities are expanding onto those patches of land. Yes, and this is an important fact. Development disproportionately occurred on agricultural land, with 62% of all development occurring on farmland. Expanding urban areas accounted for 59% of the loss. Low-density residential development accounted for 41%. So in other words, farmers are struggling due to population growth and cities expanding onto their fields. So why is it so important to take care of cultivated soil, especially in Norway? Well, we have to take care of the restricted amount of arable land we have in Norway. According to Regjeringen, or the Norwegian government, compared to many other countries, Norway has limited areas of arable land. Farmland is a scarce resource. Only 10 million acres, or 3% of Norway's land area, is currently being cultivated, including croplands and cultivated pastures. Of this, only 30% is suitable for growing food grains. and no EU country has lower proportions. And these numbers are also extremely low worldwide. Yeah, the US has, for example, 16% of their land being arable, according to the UN and Trading Economics. Today, 90% of agricultural land in Norway is used to grow animal feed. We don't eat animal feed even. These numbers show that we have extremely little cultivated land, and we should probably take care of it since we don't have the option of growing elsewhere, especially the land suitable for food grains, since they are the most precious due to their high nutrition, and that they are the most exposed due to the position or location close or even in cities, and therefore vulnerable to expansion. Number 2, self-sufficiency. As I mentioned, 300 million acres of cultivated soil suitable for food production have been put down these last 20 years, mostly around cities and towns. Only a tenth of all cultivated land and soil is for food production, and it is therefore quite scary when such amounts of cultivated soil for food production are being shut down. According to the Norwegian government, for every acre suitable for food production lost, we lose the opportunity of producing bread for 3,061 Norwegians. And at the moment, we're a growing nation. Our population isn't sinking. We need more food, not less. And of course, there are people who argue that we can import food. However, when we rely more on the food production of a different nation, we are taking a risk, even though you like it or not. Point number 3. Transporting food shorter distances could cause less damages. Local food production, or in this case, national food production, will lead to less transport, and this could reduce pollution, which we need since we are experiencing global warming, and it could also reduce negative side effects from transport, like erosion or destruction of roads, local pollution such as road salt, which is needed under the winter, and accidents. You also reduce chances of spreading sicknesses and diseases here to Norway. According to Geo, which is a book that I have listed in the sources down below. So, in conclusion, farmland is an important resource, or it is important due to that it's restricted, it's good for a nation to be self-sufficient, and at the same time we are saving the environment. However, there are people who are greedy and have money as a focus, and they will want to be building on farmers' fields. So therefore, me and many farmers believe that the government must make stronger laws to protect Norwegian cultivated soil so that they do not get built on. Here are my sources, both Norwegian and English. Thank you for your attention.